Good morning, natural gas. It's Thursday, April 16th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And for the spot May contract, we're currently up. We're currently trading at 264.30, up 3.3 cents or 1.26%. We've got the RSIs crossing to the upside. Today is storage day. Consensus around plus 51 BCF. We'll go with 54. It compares to last year's plus 30, 38, and I think the 5-year average was 22. I may have transposed those. So let's take a look if we can get a rally up here to 270, 290, but let's see what else is going on in the world. And here's ERCOT, and we've got strong renewables again today. Wind picks up, and there's a little bit of a lull in wind, but then it picks up this afternoon. Our peak right now is looking at 66,000 megawatts in the system. And as you can see right now, currently renewables are again over 50% of the fuel mix. So what else is going on with ERCOT? Well, here's the story from Bloomberg last night. Texas to see power demand quadrupling by 2032. No way. We can't do it because as you can see in the article here, that would be the equivalent of 300 new nuclear reactors. We can't even produce 2 in Georgia, much less 300 in Texas by 2032. What does that mean? More of a pull on everything. I mean everything. Solar, wind, natural gas, batteries, bring it. We need it in Texas. How about the hourly chart? We're currently above the first pivot at pivot resistance right now, which came in at 263.5. As you can see, our daily pivot is 2603. The RSI is turning to the upside. So despite expectations for a bearish storage report compared to last year and the 5-year average, we're moving higher on short covering. Also, what else is done? The rolling in the Boyle ETF is finished. So that's relieving some of the sell pressure. How about the LNG? Well, here is the Strait of Hormuz. As you can see, we're still kind of bottled up here with these congestion areas. Nothing is sitting at Las Rafan, but guess what? There's that tanker here that's been running shuttle service up to Kuwait, and the other one is up near Kuwait, just sitting outside of the port. That's gas log CRGY, and it's sitting awaiting orders. As you can see here, it is looking to push into the LNG facility. And let's take a look at that. It's right here outside Al Hamadi. And this is the LNG port right here. These 2 loading areas here for LNG. This feeds power and desalination. This is south of Kuwait City. And what else is going on for LNG? Well, currently for Golden Pass up to 355,250. So that's MMBTUs. We're less than half of the capacity for train 1. Let's go back to the marine traffic here and let's take a look at the Sea Eagle, because Sea Eagle is getting ready to be the first LNG tanker to load LNG from Golden Pass. And where is it? It's in the Gulf of America. As you can see right now, it's finally made it. It's got just a few days before it can make it to Golden Pass LNG, possibly within the next 2 to 3 days. So let's see what happens here. And let's take a look at the front, the back, the strips here. This is the winter strip. This is Novi through March. And yesterday we had really what was called a dragonfly, which is that we're just open and close at the same level. And today we're moving higher. We're up 2.6 cents to 392.20. We held our major support, which came in at 384.10. RSI is trying to turn to the upside. So we do have some bargain buyers here for this strip and the injection strip for next year. As you can see, we actually were positive yesterday by 2 cents. We're up again another 2 cents for the April through October 2027 strip. And the RSI, again, is trying to turn to the upside. How about the weather for the United States? The 8 to 14-day temperature outlook is above normal for the southeast, as you can see here, and a little bit for the Pacific Northwest. How about that? Well, you could see we're going to see some 80s and 90s here as we go through the forecast period. This is late in the forecast. This is around the 23rd. And as you can push through here, that colder air comes back into the Northeast and mid-Atlantic states and keeps a cap on that warm temperature in the Southeast. But we do see some signs of 90-degree temperatures down here in western Mexico along the Gulf of California. As you can see, this is pushing out late in the forecast period here. We're still getting 70s and 80s, and that is just mild temperatures. What about Europe? Well, look at the weather. It turned much colder for April the 26th. That's a Sunday, though, and it is cold all the way from France back to Turkey and into Russia. So this is late cold in the forecast period. And again, this continues for a few days as we get all the way through that week into the end of the month. It looks like it's much below normal for parts of Germany, Poland, and Czech Republic, as you can see here on the map, and Turkey. So how about EU storage? Well, they're still withdrawing in certain countries. They're still withdrawing from Germany, Poland, all the way to the UK and Bulgaria. And as you can see, it's always injection season in the Netherlands. And let's take a look at how they're still doing. The Netherlands is all the way up to 6.44% full. They've got a long way to go. How about Asia? This is cold temperatures here too, late in the forecast period. This is April the 20th when some colder air comes through Mongolia and into the capital city of Beijing and down into the eastern provinces. And as you can see here, we do seem to get some cooler temperatures pushing through in certain waves as we get through the end of the month. It looks cool across China and parts of Korea. How about the US? Well, we're currently right now on the nuclear fleet doing really, really well. We're at 17.4 gigawatts that are offline. That's below the 5-year average. So the nuclear fleet is ahead of schedule, getting ready for summer. And here's the Saharan air layer. I know it's still a month and a half away before the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, but as it was last year, this Saharan air layer is going to be an inhibitor for any storm development, which means our focus will have to be back here in the Gulf of America for any major storms, or over here into Panama to Yucatan Peninsula area, because off of Africa, it's going to be very, very difficult to keep these storms together. How about the oil and gas E&P sector? These are stocks between $2 and $10 billion and have a high short float over 10%. And everybody's in the green. Behind me, Magnolia up 1.69%. Our leaderboard today is CRK up 3.32%. So bouncing higher, again, with stocks that are this short, that means that any positive news is expanded. And let's recap again before we get the storage report in just a few minutes. We're looking at 263.80 up 2.8 cents or 1.07%. Again, today is storage day. Consensus plus 51 BCF. Again, that will be bearish versus the last year and the 5-year average, but the marketplace seems to be ignoring it. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.